It's my personal belief that I've been suffering severe neglect in the care of police here. So what I'd like to say is I am neurodivergent. I am prone to outbursts when triggered. That can result in vulgar stuff, things that are very out of character, things that trigger me are being overwhelmed by the overwhelming force, having more than one person come at me at once, people giving me authoritative commands, things like that. But not once have I been suicidal since I've been here. I was interpreted as suicidal both times that I was at the police station. They put me inside of conditions that are really inhumane. Not once did I mention that at the hospital. The first time I was brought in, despite this, I was treated as a suicide both times, and I think that's what treatment on my part. They left me under 24/7 lights. Fluorescent lights, bottom right is this, and all I had was a jacket to cover my face. I have sensitivity issues. I wasn't able to sleep for the first 5 days that I was here. I asked for a shower. I didn't get one until day 5. I was asking regularly, but walking by were unable to, they were dismissive. The phones were non-functional. So that I was kept in the first two, but the buttons work, you can turn it on, but once you get through the commands, it doesn't allow you to dial out. So I was unable to actually call anybody for a few days. When you get into the main part of the prison, there's a jail. There's the Google phones that can be turned on and off. The only one that works is the one farther away from the desk. And when you dial out, I'm not able to always use the pencil. I believe that I was denied the ability to communicate with people, and that's led to confusion, inability to prepare myself for the case. There was no blanket provided to me, so all I had was my jacket to cover my head, and like I said, I couldn't sleep. I was transferred to a maximum security cell for no apparent reason. Urine was covering the walls when I got there. That took me 40 minutes to clean that up. And that's a block of wads of paper, so leaving me to believe that I could suffocate in there. I scratched it all off, but it was all toilet paper craft for my event. The inmates have been intimidating. The man below me practices stabbing while I'm there. So what I hear during my time, I get 1 hour out. The rest of the band hearing down below, and the rest. You get the other inmates screaming, faggot, kill yourself. They'll go on for an entire hour. We had somebody show up, and for an entire hour, they were playing the bass drum by kicking their door. And so the conditions that I'm living in right now.
Excuse me, sir. What would you wish me to do?
I'm just putting this on record.
Okay. Are you almost done?
The laundry was collected.
Are you almost done?
Yes. The laundry was collected. The temperature dropped by 10 degrees, and if I hadn't saved my blanket, it would have been extremely unbearable. There are torturous things going on in this place. I think that there's induced suicide happening, or at least the attempt to. I am serious that this. I've been trying to call my dad. It was his birthday yesterday. I called him 3 times, and he wasn't able to pick up the phone. We've been trying to get that to work. That's about all I've got to say, and I'm familiar with you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Ballinger, what would you like to do?
Second, please.
Well, discovery complete, sir.
You're very arbitrary.
Thank you. You're welcome. Discovery is complete. People have their witnesses available the 24th.
Police officers will do our best, Your Honor, but I have been contacted about their availability.
All right. Preliminary examination in person, September 24th, 2024, 9 a.m. before Judge Barr.
Any further treatment, if I'm left in this condition, I'm going to.
Bond will continue. Thank you.
Andrew Andrew Childers appearing on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Edward Rubis on behalf of Christopher Willis. Christopher Willis.
You're requesting an adjournment.
That's correct, Your Honor. I'd like to address the bond conditions at the appropriate time.
All right. Probable cause conference will be adjourned March 27, 2025, 9 a.m. As to bond.
Regarding bond in this case, there are 2 counts of resisting that are currently charged. And one of the bond conditions, there was an individual that was present during the event that occurred. And one of those individuals, there was a no contact that was put in the no go to. The person in question is his girlfriend that he shares children in common. And then since he was arraigned, he's been having to reside at a different location and have his mother and her mother assist with exchanges of the children just to get the kids back and forth. But they do reside together. They tend to stay together. There was no charge of domestic violence, and certainly the report can speak for itself and the prosecutor can have their opportunity to give a statement, but I'd like the no go to provisions lifted. I like the no contact lifted.
Response.
Your Honor, just for backstory, the facts of this case involved the defendant was attempting to rent a U-Haul. He was basically got into a disagreement, argument with the person working at U-Haul over his ability to rent it. They contacted the police because of the way he was behaving. As the police arrived on scene, as they were attempting to make contact with the defendant, he was arguing with someone, a female who may or may not have been his girlfriend. I'm not sure about that. She was basically trying to calm him down. Based on what the police reported, he shoved her away, and that's when the police were like, "We're going to place you under arrest," and then he fought with the police officers. So that's the basis for why that bond condition is made there. That individual is not a victim on this offense. There was no assault and battery or anything charged out of that conduct. That said,
But I mean, she would be a material witness.
She would be a witness, yes. And I think that based on those facts, while they certainly didn't lead to a separate charge, I would ask that that condition remain in effect at least for the time being.
If I just may add, Your Honor,
Go ahead.
I've been able to review the video. Everything was seen on body cam. That individuals here and present in the court today would be able to address the court if there's any concerns with contact.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that condition in place. Maybe at this time. The Washtenaw address is the U-Haul place. Is that right?
That's correct.
Because I have 2 places. And so let's see what they did. I mean, and I understand what you're saying, that there haven't been charges regarding a domestic. However, and maybe that's because of what was presumed to be her status. But theoretically, I guess, if the allegations of the people are true, there could be, at which then these conditions would go into place.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to sort of take the broadest sense of things. And so I'm going to deny your request to change bond. That may change once the examination comes around and you are before Judge Moore, or at some point you can take another look at that. But given what I'm hearing today, I think the bond condition is appropriate given the circumstance. And so bond will continue motion for bond reduction denied. Thank you. Court calls case people versus